Have you ever had that feeling deep in your heart when something just feels so right? That a simple life is all it takes to feel happy and satisfied. And you wonder why it's taken 4 decades to figure this out. Thinking back to all of those years of trying to succeed by having the biggest house, expensive cars, the best neighborhood, and a house full of stuff that you never use anyway. The stuff means nothing to you, and you spend your whole life collecting it, and then the rest of your life trying to give it away. The connections with people, nature, and the land will fulfill every need and desire that you have. All you have to do is follow your heart and let it happen. We did. Here's to a simple life.
Well, it's an excavating day out here on the farm. We're trying to get the land leveled. We've already talked to the contractor who was out there yesterday, gave a down payment to him, and we'll be starting here in about a week and a half to 2 weeks. So we got to get it flat. Getting it flat's not an issue. Polebarn houses are built just a little bit different than a standard house. A standard house, you can pour a footer and then bring the concrete footers up real high to make everything level and everything, and then you just backfill up against them. Polebarn houses, you can't do that. The concrete's different of how you set the piers and all that. So what I'm ending up with is this back here. I've got this big wall behind me. Now, generally speaking, I'm standing where my porch is going to be, and I really don't want to stare at a hill like that. So on the hill itself, we're going to do what's called swale it. We're going to be working this down on up the hill, make it a lot more of a gradual climb, a gradual lift up. It also gets it so the water doesn't rush down towards the front porch. So we'll take that down a lot. It'll probably come down another 2 feet up on top, down all the way down to here. It'll have a gentler slope. Looks crazy right now, and it's really got me weirded out, nervous, but in the end it'll all work out. And then of course behind us we have like some massive piles of dirt. Now the dirt we're simply going to push down in this hole. There's a whole low line area over here. We're just going to push it down into this area over here and just kind of widen the side yard. Also over here on this side of the shed also, we've got some uneven ground over there. We're gonna, when we cut down the top over there, we're gonna push it over into that area, and we're gonna smooth that out also. We really can't push it onto the other side because the other side is where we're gonna have the septic system, and you can't disturb the ground where the septic system's gonna go. So that over there is a no-no and no-touch zone. But back on this side, we got all kinds of room in the world to fill in over there because it's just a big hole. So that's what today is all about. We're fixing to shoot some transims to see if our level, how close we are to level, and another day on the farm.
When moving the dirt with the dozer, we noticed that there was a lot of oil on the ground. So we got the dozer up on some logs and noticed that there was a hole in the oil pan. So we got a brazier and a blowtorch, and we were able to fix the hole.
Oh yay! The bulldozer's fixed, but not for long.
Well, came out here today. We had a operator for the dozer to come out, and he got about three and a half hours in and had a mechanical problem with the dozer. We busted a pin off, so we're going to have to get a portable welder unit out here from a maintenance company or something of that sort that's got a welder on the back of a truck. It's got a good stick welder or a really good MIG welder. We're going to knock the pin in and weld it in. Let me show you what went wrong with it. Here's what we got. On the front, you've got this very large beam right here that goes down the side of the dozer, and it connects down here. Right here is where it connects to the dozer. This flange right here has a pin that goes all the way through. Originally, it was on this side, and as you can see right there, there's a puddle of weld, And there was one down here too, right there on that side, where it was welded in place. On the other side, somebody got smart. They put the pin on this side, push it through so that the flange is on this side, and they put a big puddle weld on it. Because if you go this direction, you can see it right there, and we'll be able to weld this all the way down this side right here, maybe on the top a little, and get a good bead of weld on it to hold that pin in. But the bushing that's inside there is pretty much all wallered out. When I took the pin out, I can't see it now. I had the piece, a big piece of it came out. So that's what I'm dealing with. We got going to get a welder here and somebody with a machine and weld it tight. Yet another adventure. Well, got a welder out here. He was able to weld that plate back on. So we're good to go for the morning. Luckily, the operator was having to leave, so he only lost about a half an hour anyway. Second only to losing the cost of having a mobile welding service come out. So I may have to look into mobile welding services because they're a little expensive. But I needed it. I needed it. So, it is what it is. You pay for the services that are required. But general maintenance.
Who's the general? Did he order that?
All right, so we needed a transom so that we could get our heights to make sure what height it is of the elevation, so that we can get the whole place level. So we went to Harbor Freight and got a beginner's transom here. This is a PITTSBURGH model, and basically this one shoots a laser beam out the laser, and you'll use a receiving pole. And just so happens I had a pole in there that I use. It had a handle on it, comes in handy. When we hold this pole up there, I got a stick on it that has dimensions. We set it on a spot on the line, like if I turn it on, and you can see the laser is right there. And then I'll move the stick down to a farther distance and get different measurements along the way, and then I write on the dirt what the measurement was at that spot, and that's how we will mark it off. Now, first things first though, you have to level the transom, which is key. So on the sides, or all the feet, there's 3 feet that hold this in place. So I have to adjust the feet. So that until the bubble gets in the center and is level. And it's very touchy, which is a good thing. All right, so that's basically level. Now there's 2 settings on this transom. You can either use the laser as a solid beam, which we just showed you, just barely turn it on, and it's a solid beam. Or if you're in a house and you were putting up trim on a house
if you're trying to paint a stripe around a room, or hang, if you're trying to hang molding chair rail up in a room, what you do is you turn this on even further, and this top will begin to spin, and then that laser would end up making, it'll end up making a line. And I can see the line myself here because I'm standing right next to it, but it's still daylight out, the sun is still out, so the laser's just not that strong. But if you were indoors, you'd be able to see a solid line all the way around a room. I would like to think that I would be able to see it all the way across across here, and that would be great. But as you can see, the sun's still up, so we got to deal with what we got. So I'm going to put it on here, mark where I'm at. We're just about at the top of my yardstick, and I'm going to consider this as ground zero. Let me get my marker. This is ground marker. So what you can do is you can hold it on here and start walking back while it's still on there. That helps you track where you're at. You can see my laser right there. Whoop, lost it. There he is. So then I'll stop right here and find out what my elevation is. So this is telling me it's on the 2 now, rather than being up on the 0. That's telling me my yardstick is 2 inches high. So then I mark 2. And that signifies I'm too high. And we'll go around all around the different spots, and we'll mark how high the area is in comparison to that spot there.
Hey Bridgeview Brigade, I am walking in the middle of my home site. Boy, it sure looks a lot different than it did a couple weeks ago. It looks like an archaeological dig site. Maybe I can find some dinosaur bones in here. Oh my goodness. So there we go, is that 360 view all the way around. That big beautiful green pasture land is gone, but we'll have our house smack dab in the middle of it, so it's a good thing. And we still have our front yard over here, about 6 acres in the front and side yard of the pasture land still. So that'll be nice when it's completely done. Smoke. Woo! That is stinky. That diesel smoke coming out of there, and it is hot and heavy. That is heavy, thick smoke. That's why I'm backing up. Tony's getting bombarded with it.